There's an old saying in NASCAR that if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. And generally, every car you see on the racetrack definitely has something that's bending the rules. It's just if they get caught by NASCAR or not. And teams would get quite creative with it, like DW and Junior Johnson putting lead shot in the frame rail and letting it all come out during the race to significantly lighten the car by hundreds of pounds. Michael Waltrip's team adding a jet fuel-like additive to his car's fuel during qualifying for the 2007 Daytona 500, Jeff Gordon's T-Rex car at the Winston All-Star race, and of course, the crazy innovations of Chad Knaus, which got him in trouble a time or two. So when you see a dominating performance in NASCAR, chances are something on that car is not quite legal, and teams could do a very, very good job at hiding it. I still wonder about Martin Truex Jr.'s 2016 Coke 600 car that led 392 of the 400 laps. However, there's other dominating performances that were a little bit more obvious that something was up with the winning car. And in this video, we're going to take a look at just that. We're going to go back to the 2018 Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series race at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. The Pennzoil 400 presented by Jiffy Lube was the third round on the calendar, and Kevin Harvick ended up winning this race. He ended up leading 214 of the 267 laps en route to a victory. However, it was pretty obvious that something was off with his car. Team Penske's Ryan Blaney would score the pole for the race, but Kevin Harvick would qualify right beside him on the outside front row in the second spot. And once the green flag waved, it only took to the second lap for Kevin Harvick to take the lead and control of the race. Just over 50 laps into the race and Kevin Harvick still out front, the broadcast brought up multiple times just how good Kevin Harvick's car looked.
Unbelievable just how many cars he's putting down the lap. Jimmy Johnson coming off pit road with fresh tires.
Now Jimmy's made his stop. William Byron completes his and rolls back out.
Harvick just slices through the field. I mean, whoever's in his way, he goes high, they go high, he goes low, they go low, he goes high. He's really got an awesome race car.
By this point, people have noticed just how dominant Kevin Harvick has been, as he would cruise to a dominant Stage 1 victory.
And the flag waves over Kevin Harvick, the winner of Stage 1 in Las Vegas.
When Stage 2 began, Kevin Harvick would pick up right where he left off, pulling away from the field. And doing all this despite having some pit issues with NASCAR's new mandated pit guns that they introduced in 2018. And similar to the first stage, the second stage would go caution-free and Kevin Harvick would win the stage by 5.3 seconds over second place Ryan Blaney. That is an absolute monstrous lead, especially in the stage racing era. Kevin Harvick would lose the lead during the stage break pit stop, and this would put him back in traffic for the first time all race. He would be in the 5th spot behind Chase Elliott, but it wouldn't take long for him to get by Elliott. Although it never got played on the broadcast, it must have been around this time where Chase Elliott, with eyes like a hawk, noticed the rear window of Kevin Harvick's car being bowed in, and him and Alan Gustafson discussed it on the radio. And with the sun shifting and reflections changing, you could really see it in the back window here with 47 laps to go.
See that right rear of that forward glass? Is it bowed down?
Yeah, kind of where the jack, between the orange jack screw and the black lining, it's bowed from the right side of the jack screw over.
Yeah, right by the K. When he's up to speed, I think pushes down about, I don't know, 2 inches, 3 inches.
Kevin would continue his dominance and go on to win the race, leaving only 9 cars on the lead lap, which is pretty crazy considering the stage breaks.
Class remains in session. Kevin Harvick, Rodney Childers, Stewart-Haas Racing, and Ford go to victory lane, second week in a row, winning the Pennzoil 400 presented by Jiffy Lube.
Kevin Harvick would score his second consecutive win in a row, both in dominating fashion, as he did the same the previous race at Atlanta. However, Atlanta was a little bit different, as he just had that old race surface figured out better than anyone else. But on the other hand, here in Vegas, we're going to go into depth as to why he was so dominant here, as most of the other drivers really complained about the dirty air and how hard it was to pass throughout the race. But Darrell Waltrip on the Fox broadcast was praising Harvick for how easily he can cut through traffic. This issue on Harvick's car was caused by a failing brace on the rear window, and the team claimed the brace failed during the race. But it's not hard to see that this was actually just a genius way of innovating, as when the car is stopped or at low speeds, the car looks 100% normal. But when the car is at speed, that's when the cave-in happens. And it seems like a really weird thing, but it actually added so much more downforce onto the back of Harvick's car, allowing him to be that much faster and better handling through the turns, especially in the dirty air. Initially, it was to be believed that there would be no penalties handed down to Harvick, Ronnie Childress, or the Stewart-Haas team, but that would change midweek after the car got taken to the NASCAR R&D Center for a teardown and technical inspection. On Wednesday following the race, NASCAR announced that the number 4 team was found in violation of sections 20.4.8.1, which is dealing with the rear window support, as according to the 2018 NASCAR rulebook, a brace meant to support the rear window was found to have failed, which is against the rules. But to add a little more insult to injury, it was also discovered that the car was using illegal rocker panels, which is section 20.4.18 in the NASCAR rulebook. And this was a rule that changed for the 2018 season, as side skirts were mandated by NASCAR and to be made of aluminum. However, Kevin Harvick's car had steel side skirts on the car. If you're wondering what the advantage is here, is that steel side skirts are obviously more strong than aluminum and can easily be manipulated into certain shapes to give a car a little more downforce. And this was becoming a big problem prior to the 2018 season, so NASCAR had to crack down on it. But you can actually see here on Kevin Harvick's car that right in front of the rear wheels, on the left side, the skirt is actually flared out a little bit. The consequences to these penalties goes as follows. Kevin Harvick lost 7 playoff points that he earned during the race, the 5 for winning and 2 for the stage wins. The team was also docked 20 points in the championship standings. Crew chief Ronnie Childress was fined $50,000 for the L1 level penalty. However, he was not suspended, but rather the car chief, Robert Cheddar Smith, would receive a 2-race suspension. And the reason for that is the car chief has more of a responsibility on those parts of the car rather than the crew chief. I don't know about you guys, but this stuff kind of always fascinated me, as for decades, NASCAR teams have tried to bend the rule book, innovate new ways to gain fractions of a second out on the track. And sometimes you get caught breaking the rules, and sometimes you end up creating new ones. Anyways, that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. If you're into motorsports history, you're in the right place. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. That's all for now. Take care, everybody.